morning students and welcome back to our online class of computer applications. So today we'll be revising these topics which are IPO cycle, characteristics of computer, some basic output devices, and we'll see some important questions from these chapters which will help you for your upcoming exams. Let us begin the class.
Before I discuss about the features of computer, let us see what is computer. Computer is an electronic device which takes the data as input, processes it and gives the output.
So the instruction which is given by the user to the computer with the help of input device is data, which are the raw data, unprocessed facts and figures, and then it is processed with the help of the processing unit of the computer, which is CPU, also known as brain of computer. And once the data is processed, it becomes the information which is given to the user as output with the help of output device. Let us look into some examples.
Let us consider an example that your mother asked you to bring sweets from the market. So that is the data or instruction which is given to you by your mother. Now, once you went to the market and purchased the sweets, that is the processing part which you have done. You have processed the instruction. Now, once you deliver the sweets to your mother in your mother's hand, that will be called as output. So, this is one of the real life example. Now, how computer processes it, let us see with the help of the diagram. IPO cycle stands for input process output cycle. Let us understand by this diagram. So you can see in the diagram that here the input unit is the first unit where the data and instructions are given by the user to the computer with the help of different input devices, which can be keyboard, mouse, scanner. And then the instruction goes to the control unit, which is responsible for issuing the commands to the ALU. ALU stands for arithmetical logical unit. For example, if you have given the instruction to add two numbers like 2 plus 5, so the instruction goes to the control unit and control unit issues the command to the arithmetical and logical unit, and arithmetical unit performs the arithmetical instructions and logical unit is responsible for performing the logical instructions. So once it is processed by ALU, it is stored in the main memory of the computer, which holds the data for processing, and then the output is being delivered to the user with the help of output device, which is the result, or you can say the information which is given to the user after processing of the data and instruction. Output device can be many. The main common output device is monitor, printer, speaker, projector and plotter. So this is all about the IPO cycle, how it works. Now let us look into few characteristics of the computer. So the first characteristic of computer is speed. The processing speed of computer for performing any kind of task is much more as compared to the human brain. A computer can perform millions of instructions in a single second, which a human being can't do. Now the second one is accuracy. Computer performs each instruction in a very accurate manner, or you can say computer gives 100% accurate results as compared to the human brain. For example, in case of any kind of calculation, whatever instruction you have given, accurate result will be given to you by the computer. There will be no inaccuracy in the result, or there will not be any wrong output. Your input can be wrong, but the computer's output can never be wrong. Now the third characteristic is the storage capacity of the computer. Computer can store the huge amount of data as compared to the human brain capacity. We cannot even store different answers of the from different chapters in our brain. We have to revise it every time. However, computer stores many data, or you can say enormous amount of data in its memory storage capacity, and as per the requirement you can increase the storage capacity also. So this is one of the feature of computer. Moving forward, the next one is versatile. Computer is said to be versatile in nature, which means that computer can perform different kind of tasks all together in one time. You can take an example that we do multitasking in our computer, like we work on MS Word, we do the calculation, we download something, or suppose at the same time we are listening to song. So all the tasks are being performed by the computer at one time and with 100% accurate results. So this is one of the feature of computer. Now the last one is computer is also said to be diligence in nature, which means that computer never get tired, never get bored from the same kind of task you being performed by the human being or by the user. Suppose we are giving the same instruction every time, we are opening the same file 10 or 20 times. So we as a human being, if we are being asked to do a same task n number of times, we get irritated. However, computer never get irritated, never get bored, and give the result with the same accuracy, same speed to the user. So this is all about the characteristics of computer. Now if there are some features, some good thing about the computer, some advantage, so there must be some limitation or disadvantage. So there are few, but let's look into the limitations of computer. So the first limitation of computer is zero IQ level, which means that computer do not have intelligence power to think of its own. It depend upon the instruction of the user. If we give the wrong input, the output is delivered wrong. The second one is lack of decision making power. Lack of decision making means computer cannot take decision on its own that what needs to be done. Obviously, we can think about the artificial intelligence, which is one of the new concept nowadays, wherein computer are able to make their own decisions, but still they need the instruction from the user. You can take an example of AI Alexa, where it works accordingly. Whatever is said to it, it works accordingly. However, instruction should be given to them. Even if there is a robot Alexa which works according to our instruction, but it doesn't take decision on its own. And the last one is no feelings. Computer does not, or you can say computer cannot feel, as even after working for so long hours, computer don't get tired like human beings. So there is no feeling in the device computer. These are the limitations of computer.
Now let us see some basic output devices of computer.
The most frequently used output device is monitor. Monitor is the most common form of output from computer. It displays the information in the same way as we can see on our television screen. There are different kind of monitors, so let us discuss one by one. So the first monitor which we are going to talk about is CRT monitors. CRT stands for cathode ray tube. You can see the kind of monitor image on the screen. It just looked like a TV, like an old television. It uses the cathode ray tube, which is a vacuum tube containing one or more electron guns, the beams of which are manipulated or updated to display the image on the screen. So the image which is displayed on the screen that are developed, that are changed by the electrical guns, that are made by the beams of the electrical guns. The second kind of monitor in sequence are called as LCD, liquid crystal display. These are a flat panel display, or you can say electronically charged modulated optical device, which uses the light modulating properties of liquid crystals, which are also called as polarized technology, to form the image on the screen. So whatever image we see on the screen in our LCD monitors in the flat panel display are being generated with the help of polarized technology. Moving forward to the third class of monitor, they are called as plasma monitors. You can see the display on the screen, the image. The plasma display is actually a computer video display in which each pixel on the screen is made by the tiny bit of plasma or charged gases, or they are also called as ionized gases, wherein somewhat like a tiny neon light. The plasma displays are actually thinner than CRT monitors. The size and the look is actually thinner than the CRT monitors, and the image is also brighter as compared to the liquid crystal displays. So they are having a more clear-cut image as compared to the CRT and the LCD monitors. So moving forward in the same category, the next kind of monitor are the touch screen monitors, where you can see in the image with the help of touch, by touching from our finger on the screen, we can select the items. So this is one of a kind of display device that allow the user to interact with the computer with the help of their finger or stylish pen. Some touchscreens are also using the grid of infrared beams to sense the presence of the finger instead of the touch sensitive input. These are available in monitors, in laptops, and obviously the smartphones which we are using nowadays. They are also having the touchscreen panels. With the help of our finger or the stylus pen, we are able to operate these devices. Moving forward to the next one, we have OLED panels. These are also like monitors. OLED actually stands for organic light emitting display or diode. Here each pixel in this display is made up of organic material that glows when you jab it with electricity. So the organic material are passed through the electrical tube, and then when the material is past the display, the image which is found on the screen, which is formed on the screen, that glows, kind of like a heating elements in a toaster but with less heat and better resolution. So the best kind of monitor nowadays, having clear crystal technology, organic material passed through the electronic tubes, and the image glows as compared to the other display panels. This is all about the different kind of monitors, which is most frequently used output device of computer. Now moving further to the different output device, let us see the first one, which is the printer. So the other output device coming in the range is printer, which is also said to be as the hard copy output. So whatever copy is given on the piece of paper, that is called as hard copy output. Printer has two different categories, impact and non-impact printer. The impact printer are those printers which have the direct contact of the mechanical head with the printing paper, and these are basically, you can say, look like a typewriter gives a printout. The output looks like a typewriter when you will give the printout from a typewriter, and if you give a printout from a dot matrix printer, they both are usually same. The quality of the page, the quality of the image is not good. The text quality is not good whenever it is given as a printout, however cheaper in cost. Now the next category printer is a non-impact printer, which you can say that these printers have no mechanical contact with the printing head and the paper. The category of printers which fall here is inkjet and laser printers. Both are expensive as compared to the dot matrix printers, and they are colored printers as well. However, the best quality printers can be said to as laser printer, which are mostly used in different companies and institutions. However, if you want to go with the moderate kind of printers with simple average cost and average performance, you can go with the inkjet printers. Moving forward to the next output device is plotter. Plotter are actually used for creating the posters and banners. These are capable of designing the posters and banners and giving the printout. There are two categories of plotter: pen plotter and photo plotter. Pen plotters actually draw the lines by using the pen, and photo plotter uses the light to produce the image on the piece of a paper or on the cloth. So these are the kind of device helpful for giving the designing the posters and banners and giving the printout. Moving forward to the next one, the output device is projector. You can see the image on the screen. These are the image projector, basically called as an optical device that projects the image or that shows the image onto the surface, commonly a projector screen. So you can display the details of your computer. If you're working on a laptop, you want to display those things, you want to create the image on a simple screen on a particular surface, you can take the help of a projector. And the last one is the speaker, which are helpful for giving you the voice signals, audio signals. So if you want to listen to any song or watch any movie, you want to pass any kind of audio signals, so you can take the help of a speaker, which is a most frequently used output device for producing the audio signals and giving the audio and voice output.
So students, I hope you have understood now these topics. Let us look into a few important questions from these
First
chapters.
important question in this chapter is the functioning of CPU. In this question, we will be writing about the different functions of CPU. The first one is it takes the information and processes it according to the instruction given by the user. So whatever instruction is given by the user, that is being processed by the central processing unit of computer. The second one is that it performs all calculations. Whatever calculation related work, it is done by the CPU. It takes all the decisions also, and it controls all the input units of the computer, that is the input unit, output unit of the computer. So students, you can see the diagram. By this it is very much clear that how the CPU functions. Input is given by the input devices, and then it goes to the CPU for processing, wherein the control unit controls the instruction, pass on it to the ALU, and then it is stored in the memory of the computer. And after that, the output is provided to the user with the help of the output device like monitor and printer. Now the next important topic is that what is a pointing device, and what is the popular pointing device that we are using.
So pointing device, you know, that is helpful for navigating on the screen with the help of point, and mouse is the most popular pointing device. There are many others, light, pen, joystick, so you can write the example of any one.
Now the next important question is that what is the role of memory in computer? A computer's memory actually uses random access memory RAM to hold the data temporarily, data and instructions which are given by the user to complete their work. It also enables the central processing unit to hold the instructions and do their work quickly. And the measurement unit of now the memory of the computer is measured in terms of bits and bytes. Bit stands for binary digit, wherein 8 bit is equal to 1 byte and 4 bit is equal to 1 nibble. You can see the structure here, and you can write this, draw this structure while defining the memory in computer. Now let us move on to the next question. Now the next question is the difference between the internal and external memory, which is the difference between the primary and secondary memory. So you can see here in the diagram the difference between the primary memory of computer and secondary. The primary is the fastest memory and secondary is the slow memory. Secondary memory is also known as external memory and primary is known as internal memory. Primary memories are directly connected to the CPU, whereas secondary are not. Primary are expensive as well, and the example of primary is RAM and ROM. And secondary memory, the example is hard disk, floppy disk, any external memory which you attach to the computer. Secondary memories are also cheap in cost. And the last one is that primary memory can handle the small volume of data. However, you can store more amount of data in the secondary memory. All right. Let us see the next important question, which is the need of auxiliary memory. What is an auxiliary memory? It is the actually secondary memory of the computer, or you can say the external memory of the computer, which is required when you want to increase the storage capacity of your system. So whenever we purchase any particular system from the market, primary memory is already there, RAM and ROM, but if your storage capacity goes full, or if you are having a less storage and you want to store more amount of data, you can go on and purchase the secondary memories from the market. The memory which is externally attached to the computer from the outside, those are secondary and external memory or auxiliary memory. Example can be floppy disk, CD-ROM, DVDs, hard disk, pen drive, flash drive, etc. Now let us revise the different types of memory and their use in computer.
So students, what is memory? Memory is a kind of, you can say, a storage device inside the computer which stores our data temporarily. There are different kind of memory which is further divided into primary and secondary memory. Now primary memory is also called as a main memory of the computer. It is also said to be as the internal memory of the computer because it is attached internally inside the CPU. Whenever you purchase a CPU, you get the primary memory already attached within it, and if you need any kind of additional storage devices, you can increase the storage capacity by adding a secondary memory to your computer. Now accessing the data from primary memory is really faster as compared to the external memory because it is the internal memory of the computer. It is attached internally inside the CPU, so it is very faster as compared to the other memory. Now primary memory is further divided into two parts, which is RAM and ROM. RAM stands for random access memory and ROM stands for read only memory. Now why secondary memory is required? Actually secondary memory is also called as external memory. As I have said, it is also named as a auxiliary memory. To increase the storage capacity of the computer, we need a additional memory device which is called as a secondary memory. There are different kind of secondary memories available in market like CD-ROM, DVD, pen drive, flash drive, which can be attached externally. It means outside the computer, outside the CPU, you can attach them and increase the storage capacity of your computer very easily. So now let us look into what is cache memory and what is the use of the cache memory. It is actually a memory which is placed nearest to the processor, and this memory holds the requested data and instructions from the user, which is immediately available to the CPU, and it is also capable of reducing the access time from the main memory. So to access the data more fastly and frequently, cache memory is placed nearest to the processor so that instead of getting it from the main memory, the data can be accessed easily and fastly from the cache memory of the computer. Alright, computer storage unit where the data is stored, they are also referred to as registers. So it's a very important point that registers are also a faster computer memory which is used to store the data and instruction which are in execution. Right, so any data instruction which is stored in the computer storage unit, that are also referred to as registers.
That's all for today, students. So revise the topics very carefully. Revise all the 3 chapters. If you have any query, you can mail me, and prepare yourself for the exam. Best of luck. Thank you so much.